A few new recruiting names are out for Arizona, plus another offer. Is Tommy Lloyd changing things up even more?
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke, locked on your team every day. All right, this show is brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Check it out. All right, Arizona basketball. We're going to talk about that a lot during this show, obviously. You got a new you got a new offer out. You got a player that is big time that is probably, I'll just put it to you like this. Arizona is probably going to be in until the very, very end, and some other ones. But first, guy that we want to talk about as well, we want to talk about Arifan Diane. What a great name, Arifan Diane. This is a man, we always talk about it as well, girth. He is huge. He is about 7'1", 265 pounds. And he's listed by Many Services now as the best prospect in the best big man prospect in the entire country. Now, I would imagine Arizona doesn't get him, but at the same time, though, when Arizona offers somebody, they obviously think that they have a chance because you generally don't. This staff generally doesn't offer people if they don't think that they have a legitimate chance of getting them. That's always been the case, and that's why they have such a high success rate. Again, there's not a lot of offers that go out, but at the same time, this is also something too that you got to look at and you got to say, okay, well, Arizona clearly thinks that they have a chance with this young man. So what does he bring? I mean, you watch him on film, you watch what he does, and he can do a little bit of everything, and it is very, very impressive. He is, like I said, he's probably a one-and-done type, and again, he's huge. I mean, he's one of the biggest dudes. He's one of the biggest guys out there. Not only is he one of the biggest guys out there, he's also one of the guys, too, that you look at and you're kind of like, all right, well, how would he fit in? Well, there isn't a question. He would fit in. He would come here and he would play immediately. That's how good he is. He would play anywhere immediately. Like I said, I would expect that to be a national recruitment. But at the same time, though, you also know that this could be a spot where Arizona maybe surprises a few folks. Who knows? I mean, this hasn't happened before. But at the end of the day, we shall see. I like it though, and I think you're seeing this coaching staff too. And I don't know if this is because of T.J. Benson or whatever the case may be, but Tommy Lloyd is offering more players now, and I like to see that. I am a big fan of offering more players, and Arizona's doing just that. Arifan Diane. We'll see if Arizona can get him on campus. But I also don't know that they won't be able to get him on campus, so we shall be able to see. But the other one, too, that you got to look at is Tony Bryant. Now, this one I can be a little bit more definitive on. Tony Bryant is a kid from Florida who is big time. He is he's a top 10, 15 player in his class, and when you watch him, you're kind of like, all right, well, you kind of get where he is, where he's coming from. But 6'9", 215 pounds, he's the epitome again of a guy that can go pretty much anywhere that he wants. And when I say anywhere he wants, he can go pretty much anywhere he wants. Arizona would love to get him. We shall see. We will see if that's the case, if Arizona is able to get him. But I think that we are kind of at the stage too where you just know that, all right, this is a team. This is where you kind of know you're watching it right now, and you're also kind of like, all right, well, Arizona, you're going to be able to get there. So we shall see. But Bryant, I would expect to get on campus. And the thing about it too with Brandon Chappell has a very, very good, very, very good track record. And that's like I said, and he's made some inroads here. And when you make these kind of inroads, you want to be able to go with it from there. And but Bryant would be another one. You look at this 2026 class, you look at the new rankings, you look at everything that is out there, and you can just kind of tell that Arizona is going to do really well. You look at obviously a Cam Williams, top 10 player in his class. We know that a Cam Holmes, top 20 player, Kenel Lozzi. But you've got a lot of different guys that can play. Tony Bryant, though, would be another one. He would probably be a one and done. But like we've talked about a million times, Arizona is looking to reload and to be able to bring in a lot of different guys that can play and a lot of different guys that can play immediately. That's what they are going for. And I think that's what also I think it's a little bit exciting, to be honest with you, too, is that there is going to be some real roster turnover. I don't think that anybody is really I don't know that anybody is really surprised by that. But, you know, with roster turnover comes some other stuff as well. And that means that you can get some new faces in there. And this staff has also shown, too, that they believe that high school recruiting is the way to go. And I agree with them on that, because you don't have to pay as much as some of these outlandish prices that are going for some of these players right now. And maybe more importantly, you get a higher upside type player. So why am I going to spend $3 million or whatever it was on the Michigan State transfer if I'm UCLA that averaged 5 points and 2 rebounds when I could get somebody like Koa Pete that's going to be better, and I could probably get him for $1.5 million? Whatever the case may be. That's, that's just kind of common sense. I'm not really breaking any news now. I'm just kind of saying that that's just kind of where it's at. But those are two names to definitely keep an eye on in 2026. And it's kind of exciting to see exactly how this does play out, because you are watching a situation where Arizona's going to have a loaded class. So those two guys, Bryant will be here on a visit. Who knows about Diane, but it's obviously something that Arizona feels good about. All right, now the 2028 class, though, I know that's way ahead, but there's a couple names too that you need to know about, and the first one would be Ja'Kai Miles. They call him Kai Kai. He might be the best freshman in his class, or the best player, point guard in his class. He is dynamic. It would not surprise me at all if he garners an Arizona offer as well. He is really, really good. Arizona obviously knows all about him. You got a Martre Bagley as well. You got a couple other guys in there, but this is it's going to be another loaded class. But like I keep talking about, Arizona doesn't really need to leave the state, because it's not like these kids are going to ASU or anything like that. They're not going to do that. So, because again, they want to get into the NBA, they want to be able to make they want to be able to get there, and they want to be able to have fun while they're in college. And you're not going to get that if you are at ASU. So that's another guy to obviously keep a very close eye on. Another one too that this kind of goes without saying, but Koa Pete. Koa Pete is good at basketball. Koa Pete is very good at basketball, and dominating where you're at right now. Been some pretty impressive stuff at Team USA. That is some, like I said, that's a different level of competition right there, and he is excelling. But again, every time, and this is why I'm always a little bit flummoxed by some of the people that will talk down on Koa Pete to a certain degree, because whenever I watch, whenever he plays against the best players in the country, he generally balls out. I mean, he generally plays really well, and whether that's up, whether he's playing up, down, whatever. Like I said, in the NBA, worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, he's going to be a very high level role player, and best case scenario, he's going to be a star. He's legitimately he's 6'9.5" with shoes on, so he's 6'8" without shoes on, and he can bring the ball up the court. He can handle. I think that's going to be something that's going to surprise a lot of people, is just how he can handle the ball, and where you're just kind of at, and you're like, all right, well, that guy can really do a lot of good things for Arizona, and he is, like I said, I expect him to be an instant contributor and an impact player immediately once he hits the U of A. He's, like I said, he's really, really good. And I'm not breaking any news on that one. This is the guy that Arizona 100% wanted. and they're going to let him be the most versatile player in the country because they believe that he can be the most versatile player in the country. And honestly, I don't see why he can't. He's somebody that, he's somebody that I think people think is just kind of this, this power guy, this or that. Koa's got a lot of skills, whether that's from the mid post, whether that's from the high post, whatever the case may be. Koa is able to get to the hoop. Koa is able to get by his guy. Koa is able to hit the mid range. And if Koa can hit the mid range, then everything really just kind of matriculates out from there. He's just got to be able to make that next step, and if he can start hitting the three-point shot, then you've got a real animal on your hands. But either way, he is he's something unique, and he's going to be a monster for the U of A. Just another great in-state kid that Arizona was able to keep home. But you might say to yourself, all right, I want to watch Koa Pete. But I don't know how to get to these games because I just don't know how. All right. Gametime says, look no further. Look no further. Here's the deal. There's nothing like the NBA playoffs. The NBA finals are going on right now. You might want to check them out because, again, this could be a closeout. Well, it is a closeout game tomorrow. The intensity, the buzzer beaters, Halliburton going feast or famine. The fans losing their mind. And, again, I was just on the app and the zone deals were 10% off exclusive zone deals for FIFA Club World Series, World Cup matchups as well. So there it is. All right. Now, the other thing, too, that's interesting is take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Gametime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now, we talked about some of these recruiting names for Arizona, where exactly everybody is. Koa Pete, obviously. And then we got some other stuff as well. Also, you got Kevin Vance news. Obviously, that's a big loss for Arizona baseball. Kevin Vance is going off to play in the or to coach San Diego State. He's awesome. He's really, really good. That's going to be a big loss. Chip Hale's going to have to make a hire quickly to be able to get him in. I think we're kind of at the stage now where you're like, all right, well, where are we at then with that? So I will say that we're at an interesting point. Now, the one thing too that I think is an interesting point is this pitching staff coming back could be really, really, really good, and that's where we'll see. We'll see if they're able to keep it together. I am optimistic. I am hopeful. So we shall see. But now, there's been some U of A football commits that we need to hit a little bit on as well, which are very, very exciting as well. So the first thing that we need to talk about, though, is who some of those are. And again, some of these aren't OKGs. So I want to talk about that. The first thing that I want to talk about, though, is I want to talk about Hiller. I don't know how to pronounce the first name. 6'4", 180. He is viewed as the 58th best player in the state of Texas. It will be interesting to see if Arizona can hold on to him. But again, anytime you get somebody that is viewed as the 58th best player in the state of Texas, that's big time. And he's a cornerback too. So at 6'4", Arizona's going to need guys to be able to replace. That's a big one. Now the other one, Caleb Smith. He was obviously he's a ways back. He's from Texas as well. Top 100 kid in the state. Also very good. But the big news, and this is the big news, my friends, is that Oscar Rios, a four-star kid from California, quarterback out of Downey, Arizona is probably in the lead for him, and Oscar Rios is really, really good. When I look at Oscar Rios, I see a guy that is basically how do I put this? I think this is basically a guy that he can play. He's got NFL potential. Again, when you look at him and how he's ranked, how he's able to play out, he's the kind of guy that you watch and you're like, all right, that's going to be that's going to be somebody that I think can make some plays at the. Make some plays at the next level, and that's where I think it's going to be exciting to watch. He would be an ideal place for he would be an ideal place for Arizona to get and to be able to replace Noah Fafita, especially too because he can wing the ball all over the field. That's something that's really exciting about him. But Rios would be big time get. He would be easily the biggest get of the Brent Brennan era. Now keep in mind, Brent Brennan has gotten some other guys as Brent Brennan has got some other guys as well. But at the same stage, you also know that. Other guys have decommitted, like a Robert McDaniel in the past. He decommitted. It looked like he was going to be really, really good, and it looks like it was going to be really, really good, and that obviously didn't occur. So that's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we're at. That's kind of where we're at. But Oscar Rios, he's probably going to announce next Thursday, and I think he's going to back Arizona. I think he's going to pick the A. And so, like I said, we will find out. But I don't hate this recruiting class. I don't think it's great, but I don't hate it. There's some players in here that I'm not going to lie, you look at and you're okay, geez. Anytime I look at a player and they're ranked as like the 192nd best player in the state, I'm not going to pretend that they're good or whatever they are. Sure, they're from Texas. Maybe they are good. I get all that. But there's also a really good chance that they are not good. But be that as it may. You look at some of these guys, though, and they have legitimate offers, and I think that's the thing that's exciting about this. So that's where we will. I think we will find out. So we shall see. Now, who could be some more commits? You got another one. You got the wide receiver R.J. Mosley out of Northern California. Big shout out to Alonzo Carter on this one. In the past, when you've gotten a 6'4" kid, I thought to yourself, I'm like, all right, well. A 6'4" kid. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do? Are you going to be able to keep him? And it was kind of like the thing last year where you got the kid that committed, and then like the second he ended up at TCU. So you don't want that. But anybody that Alonzo Carter gets, I have faith in, because generally Alonzo Carter is very good at reading the room. Alonzo Carter knows recruiting. He knows what he is looking for. And Alonzo Carter has shown that he is good at just that. So I'm going to give Alonzo Carter the benefit of the doubt here, because Arizona is also going to need some wide receivers. Because, again, you did a pretty good job, I think, of getting some stopgaps and getting some Band-Aids in here as far as like the Jab and Watley, Jab and Watley. You've also obviously got Wysong. You got Chris Hudson. You got a pretty good group of wide receivers, but the thing is, all of them are going to be leaving, so you're going to have to replenish that. Now you have Jeremiah Patterson back, which may need to really kind of talk about that one a little bit. But Arizona, though, is going to need a lot of receivers, and I think with Seth Daggy is kind of a Seth Daggy is a little bit of a cheat code, as the kids would say, I think, when it comes to recruiting a lot of these kids, because you watch him, he's very personable, he's good at what he does, and, some guys just kind of get it. Seth Daggy, clearly one of those guys that gets it, and you can tell, too, that he's absolutely killing it in the recruiting trail right now. I think that's, like I said, I think Arizona is in a really, really good spot. We will find out if Arizona is able to if Arizona is able to keep him, but you can just tell some guys are just headed for big things. Seth Daggy is one of those guys. Now, let's get back to a little bit of basketball. Got another thing that we got to touch up on here. Thanks for keeping it locked on. Oh, hold on. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now a couple little house cleaning news for Arizona basketball. The players have hit campus, obviously, and Tommy Lloyd, before he headed off to Team USA, he was asked about some of these guys, and the first one that he was asked about was Dwayne Aristode. Dwayne is the man. He said that the thing they like about Dwayne is that Dwayne is physically ready to play right now. He is big, he is girthy, he is good, and he is ready to go. And I think the thing that Tommy talked about too is he said, I know that he had to sit some time out, but this is a McDonald's All-American. This is that type of talent, and he is that type of talent. So Arizona fans, you should be excited about what you're probably going to see from him because you might only see him for a year. I think you see him for 2 years max, barring injury, but he's big time. And Tommy obviously is a huge fan of what he can do. You also bring back, you also have somebody in a, we've already talked about Yvonne. And so that small forward position, I think, is actually going to be pretty darn good for the U of A. Looking at Mo Krivas, then, they expect big things out of Mo Krivas. They expect really big things out of Mo Krivas. And, pardon the pun, and I think you're going to get him. Tommy was just very, very confident in how it was. Now, Tommy's now coaching Team USA. That's obviously a pretty cool gig. And he's coaching a lot of the guys that he will actually be coaching in college, or hopefully coaching. He's already there with Koa Pete, and as everybody knows, Koa Pete has absolutely been destroying it there. He's been showing a lot of people just how good he is. I'm not surprised by that. I don't think anybody else should be surprised by how good Koa Pete is and what he's showing. Then and he's going up against the best players, your DeBansas, your guys like that. Just really, really good basketball player. I mean, heck, they're the best. I also don't worry. I get a lot of people that are saying, well, don't you worry, Mike, that they're, how's he going to play against bigger guys? Here's the thing with Koa. Koa is built like a 28-year-old. Koa's always been built that way. My question with Koa would more be the long-term potential, not whether he's going to be able to, bang down low with, players from Houston or whatever the case may be. He's got the temperament, he's got the skill set, he's got the strength to be able to do just that, and I don't think that there's going to be any problem with him doing that. So there's obviously that. But then another guy that you got to look at, Cam Holmes, he got cut, but he played very well. I think he's probably focusing in around a top 20 players, something like that. And then, some of the other guys, too, that he's going to be coaching. Christian Collins obviously made the team. Cam Williams isn't playing, but Cam Williams is viewed as being a very good player as well. It's just a very nice program and thing going forward for Tommy Lloyd and the U of A. And I think it's just a lot of guys, too, that you can tell that Lloyd feels comfortable. And it's great free recruiting as well. Guys get to see how Tommy Lloyd coaches. Tommy Lloyd gets to see how they play. And, again, Arizona's had a lot of coaches that have done this. Sean Miller did this in the past. Lute Olson did this in the past. So it definitely doesn't hurt. Plus, Tommy Lloyd and Arizona are a big name on the recruiting trail right now. The clutch aspect doesn't hurt, obviously. By the way, Bryce James is on campus now, so that's something to definitely keep an eye on. But overall, though, it's going to be interesting. Got a lot of good stuff with Arizona basketball and some good Arizona football stuff. I think the thing with Arizona and football is you just hope that they can win some games. That's if you can make it into a bowl this season, I think would be a rousing success. And I think that's all you really need. And I think that's why that's what we are hoping for at least. Now, also, so again, to sum up though, couple new offers out, Koa Pete dominating, Arizona football looking very, very strong for a 4-star quarterback, and Kevin Vance is taking the job at San Diego State. He did a great job while he was here. It's going to be up to Brent Brennan, though, or not Brent Brennan. It's going to be up to Chip Hale, though, to hire somebody good. You got a pretty good staff coming back, and it's going to be up to Chip to find who that guy is, who that sweet spot is where he can coach, but he can also recruit. You don't want Dave Lawn back. Dave Lawn was really bad. You need somebody in here that's good, because you see the difference when you've got a good pitching coach as opposed to a bad pitching coach. Wish Kevin Vance nothing but the best. He did a very, very good job. So we shall see that. But on that note, though, very much appreciate you all making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. I'm your host, Mike Luke. Bear down, back the A, locked on your team every day. This is a great time to be an Arizona Wildcat. Plus, Wildcats won the Territorial Cup with ASU. Nothing new, nothing new. We expect that here. Have a great, great rest of your Tuesday.